Shortly, Susan Guile will take questions from our members who are watching from the comfort of their home through our YouTube connection. And of course, we will finish our meeting after the conclusion of our question and answer session, and at which time a final closing message will be given by our president, Ed Kornberger. However, we will commence with our candidates, but before I do, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the 3 board members who served this past couple of years on the board and is expiring this year. There are Vicky DeHaye, Paul Harrison, and Lynn Hubley. I'd like to thank you for your dedication by serving on the board. Serving on the board, as a lot of people don't know, is not an easy job, and I'm talking from experience myself. And I thank you for your tolerance and patience, and it's greatly appreciated. So thank you. So without further delay, what I'd like to do is start the program, allowing me to introduce Claire Brutt.
I'll use the microphone, but I really don't need to. I'm usually rather loud all by myself. I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight and for our Zoomers and giving me the opportunity to introduce myself. I'm Claire Brutt, and I have been a full equity member with my husband David since 2012. My resume is available on the website, so rather than going through everything on my resume, I thought I would explain why I wanted to run. I think right now we are in a very unique situation. We have a new strategic plan. We have new staff. If you have not met Greg, our new general manager, seek him out. I think we have a real winner with our new general manager. The other thing is I am now available. I am still working. As of August, I ended my business partnership in a consulting firm, and while I'm still doing private consulting, I no longer have the hours actually spent running the company. So I am available, I'm interested, and we're also year-round members. I think it's very important, and I hope that everyone has taken an opportunity to read our strategic plan. You know, this is an update from a plan that started before, but it's a 5-year plan. You know, it has strategies and it has tactics. But one of the things that we really need to do is look at how are we going to measure success. Now, the plan states, you know, we want to increase membership. Absolutely, and we have to. But we need to know what is working and what isn't, and if it needs to be tweaked. So I think one of the things that we also need to do is look at how we're going to measure. There is also information about the strategies, the information, and the threats.
Ms. Brock, I'm so sorry. The camera's not on you. It's on the table, so if you want to see the people on YouTube, you can sit at your seat or you can stay there. I just want you to know that.
Okay, I prefer to continue to stand. Hello, people. And I think everyone will notice that the club, again, I'm going to point my finger at Greg, our communications have increased dramatically. We're getting the manager's weekly update. We're getting updates from the house. We're getting updates from our sports center. I think that's great. What we're missing, though, is a lot of input from our members. And that's what I want to stress if I'm elected, is including our membership to make decisions. And it's very simple. All you have to do is sit on Wacky Wednesday. I play golf, so it's Saturdays. But there's also a tool that I use called SurveyMonkey. You can develop a survey, send it out. With the answers that come back, this program will tell you, we mailed 500, we got back 350 responses, this is how people responded. So that decisions are made based on what our membership wants. And it's really setting the priorities. And it's an old adage in business, tell me what my budget is and I'll tell you what my priorities are. Well, no, we should be deciding our priorities and then working with the finance group to figure out how to finance it. So, I think it's very important that we really recognize our greatest assets. And it's everyone sitting in this room, on the Zoom, it's our members, and it's our staff. So we should be hearing from our members, and where it's appropriate, listening to our staff. So with that, I'd like to thank you for your attention. We've been invited, and I have accepted an invitation with the pickleball group to speak with them on Saturday. If you see me around the club, please, if you've got a question that isn't answered this evening, please feel free to come on over and ask it. So with that, thank you.
You can remain seated because the camera is towards your table.
I'd rather stand because of the glasses.
All right, can we turn this table to where they can get on camera?
Yeah, I got one around the phone.
Okay. Okay, and next.
Thank you. Forgot something. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for taking time out of your day to come down and meet all of us. Also, thank you to those of you who are attending via Zoom. I'm truly fortunate and grateful that I ended up here at Palmair, and it happened quite by accident. 44 years ago, I met Olga Fellin and played a lot of golf and tennis with her. I came down here in 2017 and again in 2018. And I was immediately taken in by several of the daily golf leagues. I just felt so welcome. My husband and I, who's affectionately known as the Phantom, he does exist, he was here when I had my shoulder surgery. We purchased our Club Villas 2 unit exactly 5 years ago this month, and we couldn't be happier. I live on the Champs across from the 8th tee. I'm not going to read you my resume. It's available in print at the desk, and it's also available online on the Palmair site. However, I would like to summarize some of my PAC involvement. I've been a member of 4 committees over the last 5 years. I've been on the House Committee 1 year, Golf Committee 2 years, Greens Committee, I'll be completing my 2nd year on, I'm co-chair behind John DeVoldre this year, and the Athletic Committee this year. I've started on that. I urge all members to try at some point in their tenure here at Palmair to get on a committee of your choice. It's such an enlightening experience. House Committee covers more detail than I had ever imagined. Understanding through our talented employees what it takes to book, plan events, and eventually bring meals to the table. Those of you who've been here recently, especially at Wacky Wednesday, have noted a huge increase in the attendance and the meals served. It's a welcome addition, and kudos to the House. As a longtime tennis player, and my shoulder status can attest to that, I'm very pleased to see how the racket sports venue is progressing and the membership. A big thanks to all our racket players and a very big welcome. I plan also to go with Claire to speak with the group on Saturday. The Athletic Center membership has grown so much. We're fortunate to have a top pro in Angel, certified in all 3 racket sports, and I personally enjoyed my lessons with him. As a tennis player, I had attended a lot of tournaments and visited a lot of country clubs, and often felt like a second-class citizen. I assure my racket fellows and sisters, they won't be second-class citizens here at Palm Air. As far as golf, I'm an active member of the Women's Golf Association. I play several leagues in their tournaments. I also play in the major PAC tournaments, and I'm a member of the women's golf team. Serving on the Greens and Golf Committee, it's almost too much to take in. Thank you both to Jay and our manager, Greg, and our groundskeeper, Eric. I can't imagine everything that goes on day to day. We need our members to be priority, and maintenance of the golf course is crucial. I've learned so much about costs and supply chain issues. My work experience is detailed in my resume, encompassing the insurance industry and education. I'm sure many of you want to know why I'm up here wanting to be a member of the Board of Governors. I've served and headed a lot of committees at my school and at my golf club up north. I enjoy the job. I enjoy differing opinions and working through situations. Also, being a counselor, I'm a pretty good listener. I've researched in Palm Air the detail of Palm Air's existence and how it evolved to where it is today. I'm very proud we're member-owned and operated. I believe that's important to maintain control of our club. We're very fortunate through the work of individuals and committees that have developed a very viable working document. Our strategic plan is a fabulous document. It's live, it's fluid, and it's to be evaluated every year. Like Claire, I too believe in surveys, but I'm more interested in quarterly surveys from our committees. Those of you that aren't techie, you deserve a paper ballot if you can't handle the phone. I don't want to leave anyone out. So I thank you for your time. I hope you'll consider me for a board member, and I'll work very hard for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Maya. And Todd, you ready?
And thank you, everyone, for considering me as a candidate for the board. For those of you who attended this meeting last year, this may feel like deja vu all over again, and it does for me. I retired from work on January 1st of 2023, and because I love this club, I decided I would run for the board. I had a career serving public company boards, and I figured I could bring my expertise to Palm Air. So at this meeting 1 year ago, I introduced myself to the membership, and I asked you for your vote. I was honored that so many people voted for me, and in fact, I fell short of the board by the weighted vote of 4 members. I was disappointed by that outcome, but I was not discouraged. The message I took from that positive result was get involved, learn about the club, learn about its members, and try again. So let me tell you how I spent my first year of retirement. Now, only because on January 1st of 2023, Dan Bradley would take my money, I joined the pickleball club. That has been a tremendous amount of fun for me, but it's also given me a window into the athletic center, the racket sports, and the challenges and the opportunities that that part of our club present for us. And I played a lot of golf. I set out to prove that a bad day of golf is better than a good day at work. At the time, I was a 25 handicap, and I had 40 years of good days at work. So I figured I was pretty well qualified. I learned a lot about our 2 golf courses. I played with the MGA, and I played purposefully with many of the different men's groups that play on our courses. I learned how the members feel about the courses, how they perceive the courses, and I met a lot of people. I'm now a solid bogey golfer, and I can tell you for sure, my worst day at Palm Air was better than any day I had at work. I also strengthened my relationship with the Florida State Golf Association. I continue as a volunteer rules officiant, and I serve on the FSGA's Golf Course Rating and Evaluation Committee. Bottom line, I had a really great year at golf. Of course, I got involved. Anyone who's heard me speak at any of these meetings know that I believe that the board and the committees need new people to get involved. And wanting to put that into practice, I joined 2 committees. First, I connected with Paul Harrison, and I joined the Golf Committee. As its co-lead, I was involved in many of the projects related to the scheduling and delivery of golf to our membership. Besides golf, this club runs on membership. As a retired human resources consultant, I figured I knew a thing or two about recruitment. So I also connected with Kenny Goebbels, and I joined the membership committee. There I was deeply involved in the strategic planning process, and I'm very proud of that committee's many contributions. In 4 weeks, the Palm Air Country Club will host its first ever NCAA Division I women's golf tournament. As the tournament director, I was instrumental in getting that event on the NCAA calendar and being played here on the Champions Course. This is exciting, as 15 teams, more than 80 women collegiate golfers, will be in residence for 3 days in February on the Champions Course. I'm very proud.
Would you grab her microphone? So it doesn't sound so bad. Or just stand up. You're breaking up bad.
I'm breaking up bad. Thanks, Claire.
Got to turn it on. Push it straight up.
Light is on. Is it on? Can you hear me?
Not really.
Might be other one.
You're on the communications committee.
Is this thing on? Yes. Okay.
I was just going to say, I want my back.
Yeah. All right. So I just wanted to say how proud I am of this club, which has already made a huge commitment to that event and housing those kids. And finally, when Marilyn and Don Stone asked me to co-chair this year's Couples Invitational, there was no answer I could give them except yes. We have 17 foursomes registered for this event. So there are 2 things you should know in closing about me. First, Fran and I are full-time, year-round residents of Moat Ranch. We live here, we play here 24/7, 365, all within the confines of Palm Air Midnight. Second, and I think everyone knows Fran, she's an officer in the WGA, an avid golfer, and a well-known figure around the club. So if you like the BOGO, vote for Todd.
Thank you, Todd. And now, Steve Sorwis.
Hello, everybody. Wow, that works good. I got the good mic. Okay. Well, 2 things. Public speaking and talking about myself are probably the 2 least favorite things in the world, so this will be brief so we can get to the question and answers, which I look forward to. I've been a member here for since 2013, participated in multiple tournaments. Our family business is on the 11th hole. We have multiple properties in Palm Air. This is our home, and we care what happens to it and what it is. I'm married to my lovely wife. I think we're going on 21 years. Holy moly, I wrote that down. Okay, 21 years. We've got an 18-year-old daughter. She's recently started participating in Padella at the club, so that's good. As far as things that I've done here at the club, I've been the vice chair of the finance committee for the last 2 years. In that role, we help facilitate the budgets, go over quarterly reports, everything that might go. And then I was also on the search committee for the general manager last year. Professionally, I'm a professional golfer since 1999. So golf is obviously very important to me. Realtor for the last 20 years. And then as far as before I got into that, my family owned a golf course that I helped oversee every day. So I know what it takes to open the doors. It just doesn't happen. And I know the work that the staff does to do everything to make it as good as possible. And then I'm just going to conclude on a few things that I think we should focus on and what I believe. I believe in fiscal responsibility. It's our money. I think it should be spent well. I think the golf courses should be in a better, consistent conditions. I think we should focus on manageable membership growth. Any capital improvements should be done the right way for long-term use. We are also full-time residents, which I think is important for running for the board. And that's pretty much it. I think anyone that's worked with me on any of the committees would know that I will put the time in. I do the work. I'll find out the answer if I don't know the answer. And thank you, everyone who's come up to me to support me in the past, and thank you for being here, and I look forward to all the questions. This is a good one. It could be my voice. You said try that one.
Thanks. Thank you very much, Steve. Well, it's pretty apparent that the committee for the nominee did quite well. We got 4 good people. So at this time, I'd like to open it up to a question and answer. If you have a question, and you can direct it to any individual. So if there's any questions now, please let me know. Anyone? Any questions? Yes, sir.
We're working on the distribution right now.
Hello, can you hear me? The question I have is for all 4 of you. We're obviously an aged country club as far as membership goes, and the higher end is waning. I think you can probably see that every time we go by out here. The Palm Air flag is at half staff because of the passing of a member. What are we doing to enhance the club here and the membership to get younger family members in? I know we've changed the wearing a hat in the bar to probably facilitate some of that. What else can we do to bring younger members in, younger families? With the opening of Bobby Jones course and Bradenton Country Club hosting another event down there that's LPGA, what can we do here? I know Todd is bringing the college girls in. What else can we do here? Any one of you care to answer that? Thank you.
Well, I think one of the things I'm very interested in is asking the tennis, paddleball, and the whole sports group what they're doing. If you notice, there are a lot of kids, I mean young kids, playing tennis. I don't know how they have attracted them, but we should be finding out and trying to do that with golf. We've had a couple of young ladies who have been here for years. They've competed across the state and then they leave. I don't know if we should have some type of either youth membership or we sponsor some young golfers. I know our club up in New York had a summer camp for golfers. And the first year there were like 10 kids. And it got up to the point that they had 3 and 4 weeks of summer camp. And I remember there were 4 young boys, and one kid had red hair. I mean, you would be able to spot this kid in a snowstorm. His hair was so red. Last time I went to our old club, he's been the club champion like 3 or 4 years running. He started at the club as a 10-year-old. And I think what we need to do is attract the young players, and the families will follow.
Yeah, so does this microphone work? Am I good? Yeah, hey, thanks. And David, thank you for that question. You know, as one of the, well, let me just say it this way. I know, because I know the average age of the club, that I'm below the average age of the membership here, okay? So this is an issue that I am deeply concerned about because I plan to be a member here for a long time. So, you know, I know we've addressed this on the membership committee, and I think Kenny and Suzanne have done a very good job of looking at things like the weekend membership, which has grown, the executive category of membership, which we continue to grow, and things like that. I do think that we do need to, you know, sort of open up open the opportunities up for us to just consider how we get feeder programs and then keep those people moving from those feeder programs and into, you know, into the full equity membership. So this is an issue. I mean, it's an issue we need to address, and I think the membership committee has done a good job at looking at it, and it's just something we have to actualize through our strategic plan.
Yeah. Again, good question. Yeah, we're aging, aren't we? I hope to be playing golf for at least another 20 years if the shoulder holds up. One place I think the membership committee, Suzanne in particular, has done a great job is with the summer members. They're families and they have kids. I really think that's where we have to get the kids from. A lot of the kids at the tennis courts, they play beautifully, are brought in from outside. Parents aren't there. We do host tournaments. Maybe at some point we could have a come look at us day where couples or singles could come and check us out for a reduced rate. But I do think the existing programs we really have to push. I know we just instituted, you can be a summer member for 2 years. Then you have to make a decision. And we have to make it attractive to get them and their children. I think we're doing a good job on it. It's just going to take a little while. But thanks to our membership group and Kenny's committee, I think we're moving in the right direction.
I would say we need to do a few things. So as having a younger family and growing up, I think we need to make a consideration that younger families have budgets, so we have to make sure that we can appeal to everyone in that family, so they can possibly take out their workout membership and join the club. And then number one, a young person that joins a club loves golf, if they're joining a golf club, and the golf courses need to be pristine. I mean, they have to be in good shape. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for competitive level golf courses. You're not going to find a 35-year-old person, for the most part, joins a golf club who's 25 handicap. That's going to be a good golfer. I mean, as you can see, the weekend members are good young golfers for the most part. They're 10 handicaps and things like that, and you have to cater to that. So, you know, the board and membership needs to decide if that's the way they want to go, but that's what needs to happen if you want younger members.
Thank you.
Mr. Beck.
You got my microphone.
It's there. Working.
I don't know. One of the items that certainly has been a topic of discussion for the last year or better is work on the lakes course. I'd be interested in hearing what each of you think ought to be done, where the priorities are, and if you've got any comments on how to finance it, I'd be interested in those too.
understand the question. That directed to everyone?
He's asking about the Lakes Golf Course, whether it should be redone and how we're going to pay for it. Is that correct? Yep. Okay. I'll start. I do think it needs to be redone. It's worn out. I think the infrastructure under the golf course is worn out. That needs to be addressed as well. It's not just a facelift, unfortunately. But for the long-term success of the golf course and the country club itself, the golf course needs to be done. As far as paying for it, once we get the finalized cost and the scope of the work, then I think that's when we have to address it. But I mean, at this point, there's no way of knowing that until we know exactly 100% what needs to be done and should be done.
So I'll take a try at this next. I firmly believe that the Lakes Course needs work. It definitely needs work. I mean, the tees need to be redone. The greens need, the green serviceable life of the greens, I think, is beyond its life. And there are other issues with it, bunkers and other things that we're fixing. I'm not a member of the Finance Committee or the Greens Committee. I don't have the insight into what proposals we've gotten, what the cost of those would be, what the cost benefit of redoing the course versus repairing the items that need to be repaired would be. So I don't really have an answer, but I do know there needs to be work, and I think this board needs to present to the members for its vote what is the most economical way to do that. The other thing that, we're all here in the summer. I'm a full-time member of golf all summer. We all know the golf course conditions, and none of us were happy with them. I think, when I think about that experience and being here over the summer, my feeling about that is that, we all paid a lot of money to have the Champs redone, and I think we didn't get what we think we were going to get for the $3 million or whatever the price tag of that was. So I would say that however we do this, whatever it is we're going to do, the members need to hold the board, and we need to hold our contractors and our staff and Greg and others, Eric, responsible for ensuring that we get what we pay for. And I think that's really important. So to me, it was, the conditions were suboptimal, and I think that hurt even more because we had just redone the Champs, and none of us felt like we got what we paid for. That's my view.
Oh, my turn. Okay, I won't make any bones about it. I am for the new course, and I'll tell you why. We are doing a lot of Band-Aids. Eventually, Band-Aids have to be changed. We all know that. Yes, I agree with you. The championship course did not live up to our expectations. We're dealing with that now. No, I'm not a full-time resident here, but I'm in constant contact with friends who are golfers. I get pictures of the bunkers, of the fairways, of the tees. So I assure you I'm up to date. Many of you are afraid of the cost. Many of you are getting assessed in your associations and have to put on new roofs. I'm getting assessed across the street. But I assure you, like we did with the Champs, no one's going to be left behind. No one. If you have trouble and there's an assessment, we will stand by you and work it through. The fairways on the lakes are 40 years old. So go the golf courses, so go the clubs. If you look around, many courses are starting to redo. Sarah Bay followed us, Bradenton followed us, River Strand. Yes, we're going to expect more of that architect this time around. I was on the subcommittee that reviewed the lakes and the changes. I'm not happy with the bunkers on the Champs either. And if you elect me to the board, I will oversee it. But there are checks and balances for those of you that don't want a new course. This viable plan allows your say. That course won't take place without your vote. It's here. I urge all of you, if you don't have a copy of it, familiarize yourself with it and the ways of it. I'm here to listen. I'd be honest with you. and I love different opinions. Let's talk about that Lakes course. In my mind, we do need it. Thank you.
I believe that, yes, we need to redo the lakes, but not right now. We've been told the Champs course is immature. Why would we close the Lakes course and move everyone onto the Champs course that's immature? You're just going to prolong the course coming up to par. I think that the Champs course is really our namesake. I mean, we have the NCAA coming in. I assume they're going to be playing on the Champs course. I look at our website. That picture is taken from the Champs course. Our premier hole is the 18th hole. It's the Champs course. We have got to get the Champs course where it should be before we move to the lakes. And if it takes a year, it takes a year. If it takes 2 years, it takes 2 years. But we should not have two subpar courses at the same time. That to me makes absolutely no sense. I feel, and I will go with whatever the membership says we should do. But I think personally, we should focus on the Champs course first and get it done and get it done right. Then move to the Champs.
Okay, I've got a microphone. All right. The question, actually, the common sense statement is, if we have impeccable golf courses, people will join. You know, people come here, people play golf because of the conditions of the course, the cost of the course, et cetera, et cetera. We certainly get people here, like this NCAA tournament, unless someone addresses, for example, just one example, the edges of the bunkers. That's not an expense. That's a common sense thing done. Go look next door and look at their bunkers. Our bunkers look like crap. Right? The edges, and there's no excuse that they shouldn't be done. So what I'm saying is, everybody is on the same path together. Financially, we've got to get both those courses looking pristine. And if you don't, you're not going to get members, because people talk. You know, I'm sure that everybody in here has played different courses. You go out to Longboat Key Club, and people rave at the fairways. Our fairways on both courses absolutely look like shit. That's and until someone addresses what the real problems are, we're just playing with ourselves. So I'm glad to see.
It's a question.
Question. Question. What do you guys intend to do to get more new members here? Younger.
Let's start there.
How about if I start, we go this way and then we'll work our way back. Again, I think the membership committee and, you know, Suzanne is doing a very, very good job. I think that I would like us to focus more on getting out-of-town membership. Trying to, you know, get the same members locally as every other course, I think is not necessarily the best bang for our buck. Almost everyone in this room came from a country club somewhere else. A lot of people start as a snowbird. I mean, when Dave and I came down, we bought a condo on the 7th tee box. Now, granted, we were snowbirds for a month. We decided we were out of our minds to go back to upstate New York. But we go back and we visit and we go to our old club. I mean, I told them all about Wacky Wednesday. They'd be nuts not to start it. But it's inviting people here. That's how Dave and I found Palmair. Members of our club from New York invited us down. It doesn't matter where we get the members, it's how we get the members. And I think, one of the things, again, when I looked at the strategic plan, I'm used to seeing something a little different. But it's called an elevator comment. How do you describe Palmair in one sentence? We're a privately owned country club, member-owned, with 2 golf courses. We're a historic, not old, historic club. Do we really have a good definition of what our club is? We have a mission. That's great, but how do we describe our club in one sentence? And it's our members who will sell it. I'll tell you, anybody who comes here to visit, yes, they're looking at the courses. Yes, they're looking at the tennis courses. But when they sit down and they talk with the people, we've got the best membership going. And we should be all focused on getting in new members.
Yeah.
I think I basically may have addressed this before. It's membership has done a great job. Up north, we have a sliding scale for various ages. Like Steve said, a lot of people starting out in homes, little kids, budget's tight. So we have a sliding scale where it increases as their ages increase. Kids go back to school, maybe the wife goes back to work. That's what, I'm not trying to slay anybody who works or does not work. I took off when my kid was home and went back to work. So that provided additional income. We joined a country club. I think we're doing a great job here, trying to get the summer members turned over, trying to get weekend members turned over. And I think that's the way we proceed. This club has something great going for it. Oh, that's a young one we could recruit. When I bring people here to visit, they are amazed at the way they're taken in. I've brought people to play in Barb Harrison's golf group on Fridays. They're like, oh my gosh, Ann, we feel like we went and gone to God, Heaven's golf course. Sorry about that. So I think we're on the right track. Bring people here to play around the golf. Heavens, we all get passes. Bring an outside member over. They just might like it. We have members from Lakewood Ranch who've joined here. I think we're on the right track. But we have to have 2 pristine courses.
So I'm going to try to answer your question, Terry, but also respond to your comments about the course altogether. One of the things that I felt good about the membership committee this year and its work in the strategic plan is that for really the first time, the membership committee came out with a goal, like a membership goal. And we handed that goal to Suzanne and we said, this is our goal for membership. I've been in sales pretty much all my working life. And I don't ever remember a year I didn't have a goal. And so I don't quite understand how you run a membership function without a goal. But I think that's one aspect of this that is seriously important. And it is in the strategic plan. I agree with Ann. And that should help facilitate our growth. The other is a comment I want to make about Greg. And I'm delighted to have Greg here. I just think he is just a refreshing general manager. He's just wonderful to have here. He said something in a membership a member meeting, not a membership committee, a membership meeting that stuck in my mind, and I won't forget it, and I won't let him forget it. He said, "You should be holding me accountable." That's what he said. And if I missed that quote, Greg, you should correct me. And that's how I feel. You know, I feel like, so this is how I feel, and I think how I feel is how some of the members feel, many of the members feel, that there just have not been people holding themselves as board members and as operators of our club accountable for what happens. There's excuses about why this is done or why that's done, or, you know, that we were told this, or this is the advice we got. We're spending our money, and we need to be accountable for that. And I think that's critically important. So what do we need to do in terms of returning the golf courses? Greg runs the club, he runs the operation, he's got a group of people who work for him, and we have to hold him accountable to return that club, those courses back to the condition they should be in.
Again, on the membership, I think one thing, and I've heard it since I've been a member here, is, you know, the northern members, and obviously they are an important part of the club, but there's, if I'm not mistaken, there's 11,000 doors within a half a mile of this club, or maybe a mile radius, that we can market to those. Sarasota, they came out, it's going to be the fastest growing city again in the country, 125% growth over the next year. I mean, there's people that are coming here, the people that live here, and we need to market to them. It's hard to market. I mean, if you say someone up north, where do you pick? I mean, this is a big country. You're gonna just pick Buffalo and market to Buffalo? How much does that cost to market to Buffalo? Or Schenectady, or Canton, Ohio, or anywhere. But I mean, we know where people live now. They live here, and there's people that want to play golf. And they can't join other clubs at this point because there's waiting lists at a lot of places. So we need to put our best foot forward to get those people here.
Mr. Cook. And we have a live microphone.
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Just talk right in, it's on.
Okay, can you hear me? Yes. Oh, good, good. I'm Holly's husband, Jerry, and I've got a question about the renovation of the Lakes course and the ripple effect it could have. Sorry. The ripple effect it might have. So currently we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 600 members that are able to play golf at our club. And how are we going to accommodate these people? And granted, not all of them play golf every day, but the point is there's a lot of golfers in this club. How are we going to accommodate all these golfers when we've disabled one of our courses for 2 years at least, maybe more? And yeah, that's the question.
I guess I'll start. We'll go back this way. Well, we've seen studies in this, at least in the Finance Committee, and Jay's done a good job. There's plenty of capacity on the golf course at this point. Mornings are fairly slow, so we can accommodate one golf course, especially being as this is going to be in our slower months. The golf course can be closed 4 or 5 months. It's not going to be closed for 2 years, so I don't think, with the current level of members, I don't think that is a consideration. That, I mean, I understand it's going to be inconvenient for some, but I think we have plenty of room for people to play golf during the renovation.
Seen the information that the Finance Committee has. I know from being on the golf committee, and Jay has addressed this very well, there is capacity, particularly if we, obviously pick the months where we do the renovation. When we did the Champs course, it ran through the summer, right? So it inconvenienced fewer people, if you will. In fact, I live here and play here all summer, and I didn't feel inconvenienced at all. So I do think it's manageable, and I think it just has to be part of the work plan as we think about whether we, renovate the course or what work we do there.
I think you'd be surprised at how much space there is out there. Programs do wonderful things and collect data, but until you see it, you don't believe it. Sometimes we're double-teed, and that's hard. but I think it'll be worth it. It's only, like Steve said, going to be a few months, really inconvenience. We have reciprocals, people go away. There's a lot of time out there. Programs have been run for various committees that show how much space is available day by day and AM, PM. I can assure you there's enough space on that golf course for us to do the renovation with minimal inconvenience. And one other thing I forgot to point out, maybe you don't live on the golf course, but you live in a nearby association, it also affects the value of your home. If you have a good golf course, people will come. And people do talk. I'm playing on the golf team. I've played at all those courses we've just mentioned. I want my courses to look like that. Thank you.
Maybe I look at this a little differently. When the Champs course was closed, we only had the Lakes course. And as a full-time member, getting to play during the summer, you have to remember that golf courses need time, they need certain like aeration and all these different things, and they close for 2 weeks. More than once during the summer. We still have reciprocals coming to us during the summer. Yes, you can double book, but there are things that we could do. I am a firm believer that at least during the summer, with reciprocals and weekend members and summer members, we should have starters. We have people on our course that I don't know if they're members. I don't know if they're reciprocals. You see one orange tag and 4 players. And we should have marshals. I don't think anybody is upset with, a 4-hour round if you are moving. It's when you're stopped on a tee box and there are 3 or 4 foursomes on the same hole. If we're going to close one course, we have to control the movement of the one course we have. And it starts with marshals, and it starts with a starter. And yes, we have reciprocals, but, when we're only down to one course, why don't we close the reciprocals? I mean, Bradenton did it. They had all their members come over. We did a deal with Bradenton. Yes, they only have one course and it had to be closed. But, you call for a reciprocal, and on some courses, you can't get a tee time until 10 o'clock. Here, they can be in the 8:30 shotgun. They can get a priority tee time. My question is, why? We should be looking to take care of our members first, particularly when we're down to one course. Yeah, we have gotten terribly spoiled having 2 courses, but that doesn't mean that we don't take care of our members when we're down to one course, whether it's a month, 4 months, 6 months, or a year.
Hello. Let me thank you, board members, for volunteering your time. I have a question with respect to priorities. And in the interest of the Bucks playing the Eagles in about a half hour, I would ask that you, in one sentence or 2, indicate what your respective priorities are. We've had a lot of talk about a lot of things, but put it down to, I'll vote for you if you say this priority. In any event, I read the report and I thought it was really well done and obviously filled with a whole bunch of goodies. But I want to know what you think is your most important goodies. Thank you.
My priority is to get communicating both ways with our membership. I have my own opinion what should be a priority, but the priorities should be set by our membership, not exclusively by the board. Anyone, in management, it should be set by the members. It's our club, it's our money, it should be our priorities. And by the way, my husband's watching Buffalo, so.
My priorities are fiscal responsibility and the best golf course and country club building we can present. There are checks and balances in this strategic plan that I will hold the board to if I'm elected. That course won't go in without a membership vote. It won't go in without approval from the fiscal side. So that's my statement.
So I'd actually identify 3 priorities. Any of you who have heard me talk before know that I spend a lot of time on other golf courses through the Florida State Golf Association, and I'm not happy with the status of these courses. So whether we renovate or repair the lakes, my number 1 priority would be the golf courses and getting them in really pristine condition for us. Number 2 is the athletic center and everything connected to it, the pickleball, the padel, the gym, the pool. That is a great asset for us and one that we have to pay more attention to and make sure that we give that the resources that it deserves, because that area has grown for us and it will continue to grow, and I think we want to foster that. And 3rd is the house. This building, it just needs attention. I mean, you talk about younger members, and everyone else talked about younger members wanting to play a good golf course. You walk into this building, if you're, 45 or 50 and you walk into this building, you feel like you just walked into your grandpa's apartment, Look at that relative to some of the other clubs that were built in the same time period, right? Bradenton Country Club, built in the same year period as this. Laurel Oak, building built in the same period as this. They didn't gut the building, they didn't rip it out, they didn't add rooms, but they refreshed it and they made it look very contemporary. And we're going to need that if that's something we, to just continue to attract the level of membership that we want. So those would be my 3 priorities.
Well, yes, for one, so I'm going to say 1, it's golf course. And then fiscal responsibility. I guess, we could name every single thing that needs to be addressed, but priority for me would be the golf course and golf course conditions.
Susan, do we have anyone else out
Is there
there?
anybody on YouTube? Any more questions in the room?
Okay, now we're okay.
Well, they each get
There.
one.
Well, listen, thank you very much for coming, but before we leave, Ed, if you don't mind coming up, some closing comments? Thank you very much.
Mike,
We don't need it. You don't need it.
a couple things just to wrap up. I have 2 jobs. First is, everybody got thanked. Candidates, thank you, everybody, for coming out. But we thank our chair of the nominating committee, Ms. Pascal. Thank you very much. Last but not least, I have a question and I have the answers. The ballots will come out next week.
They will be mailed next week.
They will be mailed next week. Come out, be mailed. Make sure you have the right address in so that you receive them. If you have a northern address, they are required to be back by 9 p.m. on February 28th. They will be counted by the Cracker Jack Ballot Counting Committee that I will tell you is the most incredibly organized committee on the planet. And they will be counted starting on the 29th, and the candidates will know their their disposition that morning, and we will post it on the bulletin board and get a note out to the membership. Thank you. That's it. Thanks to the
Of course, now, once it start working. Yeah, that one was a good one, I think.